So welcome to Hare Krishna Valley. Thank you for coming for our May Open Day. Good to see you all. It's a little bit of a quiet one because it's Mother's Day. We have a lot of competition. So not as busy as normal, but still, it's nice. Okay, thank you very much. So for those anyone here for the first time? Hare Krishna Valley? Okay, most of the people, okay. So we bought this property many years ago, in 1987 actually. So that's 34 years or something like that since we bought it. And then when we first brought this building, this property, we built this building that we're sitting in now, and this was a school. So we had a Hare Krishna primary school, which ran here for 7 years. These were the classrooms, like that. So then we ran the school for about 7 years, then the school closed. The government was closing lots of small schools in country Victoria in the 90s. They're trying to merge all the schools, so we lost our funding at one point. So then this property was somewhat dormant for about 10 years. There wasn't much going on here. We just had all these buildings and 200 acres and a nice place. And then I started running retreats here. So then our headquarters in Melbourne, they said, why don't you come and live here and you can run retreats on a regular basis. So I came here about 14 years ago, I think. What year is it?
Yeah, it's 2021 now.
21, yeah. So about 14 years ago I came here. And we started running retreats here. And then I renovated this. We turned this had blackboards and everything here. It was just classrooms. Then we turned it into a retreat space, and now we run retreats here nearly every weekend for the last 6 weeks or something. We've had this is a quiet weekend actually. We usually have retreats running here and people coming and visiting. So now we run a retreat center, and we grow organic veggies. So if you go to the other side behind our dairy, then we have organic market garden. We have 6 acres where we grow vegetables and things. And then we have an Ahimsa Dairy. Ahimsa means non-violence. Just like if in Buddhism they have this word Ahimsa. Anyone know what that word means?
Yep.
Yeah, Ahimsa means like non-violent, peaceful. Like that. So our dairy, our Goshala, our cow protection program, means that the cows live here and they don't have any fear that they will die. Because all over the world now, they are killing the cows. They're killing the animals. And then because of that, excuse me, because of that, there's so much bad karma on the earth. We call it Ugra karma. Ugra karma means terrible karma, when very bad things happen. Just like at the moment, you see what's happening in India. So India is getting ravaged at the moment. India is the home of spirituality. All of our spirituality comes from India. It's the home of spirituality, but people are living there in the land of Dharma. Dharma means spiritual practices and teachings, but they're not following it. So when that happens, if you live in a sacred place and you don't follow the sacred teachings, you get more karma. Just like if one of the kids does something wrong, we say to the kid, hey, stop doing that. And if you tell the kid don't do it and then they do it again, then you get more upset. Because the kid is doing more. So Krishna, God, when he sees the people in his holy land are not following, then even more karma will come. And now you see what's happening. Big problems. So this is all happening because people are not respecting the cows. Not respecting the sacred animals, not respecting life. So here at Hare Krishna Valley, it is a peaceful place. Shantidam. Shantidam means peaceful place. Why is it peaceful? Because all the animals here are protected. We don't have to worry. They don't have to worry, we don't have to worry. And when you have that vibration, then everything becomes very peaceful. When that vibration is there. So today is a very important and sacred and holy day. In the Western calendar. What is today? Mother's Day. Mother's Day key. So who made it Mother's Day? This is what happens in India and also in the West these days. People don't question why we're doing things. Things become ritualistic. Just like in India, so many rituals. People do so many things. A lot of people don't even know what they're doing. There's one story, Prabhupada, our founder, he told one story. There was a wedding in India. And there was a cat running around. So the mother, the grandmother, she got a basket and she put the cat under a basket so it wouldn't run around during the wedding. So the cat was under the basket, so they got married. And then people said, "Oh, what's happening?" They said, "Oh, there's a cat under the basket." "Oh, Acha, cat is there." So then, next time they had a wedding in the village, they were getting ready for the wedding, they said, "Oh, we need a cat under the basket." Right? When you get married, there has to be a cat under the basket. So then they started doing like as a tradition. Whenever someone got married, it's just the cat was just running around. She put the basket on top of the cat just to keep it controlled. So then now things become ritualistic. So now we have Christmas. What is Christmas for? Does anyone actually know? What's Christmas for?
Jesus' birthday.
Yeah, Jesus' birthday. Jesus, the Son of God, was born on that day. Although they sometimes they debate whether it's actually that day. But anyway, around that time, Jesus was born. These days, we celebrate Christmas. What has it got to do with Jesus? We give presents to each other. Right? And you get upset if you don't get the right present. You give all these garbage presents. Half the presents you don't even want. Half the people you give them to you don't even like. Merry Christmas. And then we have this big round guy dressed in the red. Who is that guy? It's based off of Saint Nicholas. Saint Nicholas. If you go back, there's actually some history there. These days, basically, it's just it's a commercial enterprise. Christmas. I mean, it's good for the retail industry because everyone buys things, right? People max out their credit cards. Domestic violence goes up because everyone gets drunk and argues. And then there's a lot of, the days following Christmas, there's a lot of violence as well, domestic violence and arguments because people can't pay back their credit cards and they realise what they did and now everyone's stressed. What's that got to do with Jesus? What would Jesus tell us? I don't think he would be so concerned with the whole way we celebrate it. And then you have Easter, chocolate eggs. This is when Jesus was resurrected. Right? Now we give chocolate eggs. What's that got to do with? What, Jesus came out of the cave with chocolate eggs? I mean, we know there's a symbolism there, but it's things become ritualistic. So all over the world, people forget why they're following what they're actually following. So Mother's Day is a day where we're supposed to veneer the mother, or respect the mother, give reverence to the mother. Now it's interesting, if we look historically where it came from, it actually came from the church was actually considered the mother, a place where everyone would gather and get nourished. So Mother's Day was a special day when everyone would go to the church and do things for the church, fix the church, and this was actually how it started. Now it's broken down. Now it's become the day that florists, people who own florists, is when they recoup their debt. Right? Because florists quite often go into debt during the year. And then on Mother's Day and Valentine's Day, this is when they clear all the debts. Right? So it's become Mother's Day. We've forgotten what it's actually about. So because it is Mother's Day, we'll speak about mothers today. So happy Mother's Day to all of you mothers. However, in the Vedic culture, in the ancient tradition from India, we have 7 mothers. We don't just have one mother. It's not just your biological mother. Right? There are 7 mothers. What are the 7 mothers? The cow, very good.
Nurse.
The nurse, very good.
The Brahmin wife.
The wife of the holy man. Yeah.
Yeah.
The earth, very good. So there's 7 mothers which are there in our tradition. So you have your biological mother, then you have the earth, you have the cow, you have the wife of the Brahmana. Brahmana Patni means the holy man. Guru Patni means the wife of the Guru. Yeah, you guys, this is the temple, you have to be a little bit quiet. We actually have a playroom at the back, and in the playroom you can hear the lecture as well, so if the kids are too restless they can also go. They can stay if they want, but if they want to go. So we have the wife of the Guru. Raj Patni means the wife of the king. And then we have the Datri. Datri means the nurse. Yeah. So these are the 7 mothers. So we give respect to our mother. In the ancient teachings of India, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, our ancient teachings, it says that you should not become a mother or a father or a guru or a teacher or a devata, a demigod, or so many things, unless you can deliver your dependents from the cycle of birth and death. That's what it actually says. Don't become a mother or a father unless you can take your children back to the spiritual domain. That's not normally what they teach you. Where in this Western culture do they teach you these things? Right? That's the actual responsibility of the parent, to enlighten the children. The mother is the first guru. The father is the second guru of the child. You're meant to enlighten the children so they go back to a higher state of consciousness. We don't just teach them material things. Right? There has to be more to it than that. So in this ancient teaching it says, don't become a mother unless you can enlighten the children. Teach them about Krishna, teach them about higher things. Second is the cow. And that's why at Hare Krishna Valley, the cow is the mother, because when you're born, what is the only food that you have for the first 3 months, 6 months, 9 months? Milk, only. You live on milk. Milk is the most nutritious food. We can live on it, that's all. Right? My wife breastfed our daughter for 3 years. Right? Nothing else but milk. Right? Wasn't actually just that. How long was just milk?
About just before 1 year.
Just before 1 year. First 1 year, just milk. And then the milk kept going till 3 years. In India it's even common, they'll go sometimes 6 years, something like that. It's not that uncommon. And people say, oh, that seems a little extreme. No, because that is the most beneficial food. The mother's milk for the baby has all the antibodies that the child needs to become strong, right, and to destroy diseases. So it's very powerful. Now when you get older, you can't drink your mother's milk. You know, like I can't say to my mum, I'm 51 now, so I can't say to mum, it would not be appropriate or wanted, especially when you're out in public or something like that. Not desirable. So then we transfer traditionally, in the traditional culture, cow's milk. That's why the cow is considered the mother. So the cow's milk, especially our cows, the Hare Krishna Valley, these are protected cows. Their milk is the most beneficial. It is A2 milk. People are talking about this these days. A2 milk means the most healthy, the most digestible. Okay. We have a nice playroom at the back. You can also play. Yeah. You can hear everything if you want to jump. Also, we have a nice trampoline. If you want to jump, we have a trampoline. Yeah. For the kids, it might be hard to listen to. Yeah, if you want to take them, no problem. You can hear everything there. Or if you want to go to the trampoline or something. So, the milk is especially beneficial. If you drink the milk, it describes in the Vedas that it nourishes the brain. And when the brain is nourished, then you can understand philosophy. Now, if you go to India, they have garam doodh. What is the garam doodh? Hot milk. Garam. Garam, hot milk. People don't drink hot milk in Australia. I grew up in Australia, I never drink hot milk. No, a couple of times in my life, but it was just cold milk. 4 degrees out of the fridge. You can't digest anything at 4 degrees. Right? It's very hard to digest. That's why it's called the fire of digestion. You put 4 degrees on a fire, it goes out quickly. That's why people get lactose intolerance and all these things. You're meant to drink warm milk or hot milk, because then it assimilates into the bloodstream and nourishes the brain. Right? And then you become very fertile. The brain becomes very fertile to understand these things. So that's why the cow's milk is considered to be very beneficial, to have the cow's milk. That's why she's considered our mother. It's an offense or an aparad to harm the mother. Actually, in the ancient Vedic teachings, it says there are 5 groups in our society which should never be harmed under any circumstance. What are those 5 groups? 5 groups in our society should never be harmed under any circumstance. Right? Women, right? Never harm a woman. Right? Children, never harm the children. Old people, never harm the old people. Holy people, spiritual people. That's why I'm a holy person, so you can't harm me. Protection. Holy people, don't touch. Okay. Even if I say something you don't like, you cannot touch. Holy people, and then the cows. These 5 groups, never touched. Now, if you look at the earth right now, why are we having so many problems on this earth? Because these 5 are being harmed. Children, horrible things. We won't go into details, but do some research. Women, big problem. Big problem. If we go into the actual details, I won't go into it, but women, children, old people not looked after. I mean, in Australia right now, they're doing I think they're talking about a royal commission into what's going in old people's homes. You work in that industry, right? No, I mean, do you work in that industry? No, you don't. I thought you did for some reason. But anyway, we know there's a big problem. Cows are being slaughtered all over the world. Australia, India, America, Brazil. Look at the places having a lot of problems at the moment. There's the countries that kill the most cows. Interesting. Not interesting, but... and the holy people. Right? Just like in our, the Hare Krishna movement, we're meant to be holy people. We try to be holy people. Like in Russia, they're giving us big problems right now. In China, they're giving us big problems. Different Middle East, we can't even get established because they give problems. They're treating the spiritual people wrongly. So if you do this to these people, you will get problems. The karma will come. So that's what's happening on the earth. So you have to protect the cow. She is the mother. So after we have lunch today, we will go and visit our cows. Hands up if you'd like to visit our cows. Okay, 2 people. Okay, so you can come visit our cows. The rest of you will see you next time. Have your lunch and go. Hands up if you'd like to see our cows. That's a little better, yeah. Come on, let's get some enthusiasm. You guys hungry or what? Where's your enthusiasm in your life? Yeah, one person. Yeah. This guy has some bhakti. Bhakti mom. So we will go and see our cows. And it was interesting, very interesting. I've been living here for 14 years, managing this place, looking after the cows, right? About 2 or 3 weeks ago, we had a retreat here. And on the retreat, one lady, she was a veterinary nurse, a vet, right? And she came here, and we were talking. She looks after animals and cows, all sorts of things. And she said to me, it actually struck me very deeply. She said, your cows are different. Something in their eyes, it's different. And you'll see when you meet them, something different. Because they're peaceful, they know they're safe. Right? If you know you're safe, Obviously you're different. Right? If you don't know you're safe, right, how can you be peaceful? So she said, it struck me very deeply. Our cows are very, because I think that already, but she said that. Where the cows are looked after, the whole place becomes auspicious, it becomes peaceful. The world will become peaceful. And we're seeing these days, people don't look after the cows. And the world's not peaceful. So you have to look after your mother, you have to look after the cow like she's your mother. That's how we treat our cows. They all have names, you'll meet them. 3 weeks ago, yesterday, we had a baby cow. Padmavati, so you can meet her. And then actually, Madhavi, one of our cows, is going to give birth, we think, in 2 days from now. So if you want to come back in a couple of days, you can see. Hopefully there'll be another cow. Babies just keep coming. So nice. Very auspicious. When someone's pregnant, it's auspicious. It's like good fortune. If you see a pregnant woman, that's good fortune. It's like Taravali, our good friend. All our other friends have come because she's 7 months pregnant. She's walking around. So that's auspicious. I mean, that's like a good omen, or a good, creates good fortune. These things. So here at this place, Hare Krishna Valley, so much good fortune. Cows looked after, and all the right things are looked after. So we have the cow, our biological mother, and then the earth. The earth is the mother. Why is she the mother? Because without her, we're finished. And then what do we do to the earth? We manage in 200 years, in our philosophy, the earth has been civilized for millions of years. In the modern educational system, the atheistic modern educational system, they'll teach you the oldest kind of Homo sapiens is about 40,000 years old. We don't believe that. Ours is a totally different understanding. We believe there's been civilized people here for millions of years. And we have a nice book in the shop, I think we've got it there, it's called Forbidden Archaeology. There's a lot of evidence that there's been humans on this planet for millions of years. But whenever they find that archaeology, they hide it. Oh no, that doesn't fit in with our mainstream teaching, so we will hide that. Like that. But actually, we can prove it. There is proof. So, for millions of years, there have been people living here on the earth. Even if you say 40,000 years, that's no problem. If that's what you believe, then no problem. So 40,000 years people have been living here. In 200 years, we managed to wreck everything. Look what we did in 200 years. And since industrialization, I saw a very good documentary a couple of weeks ago called Cowspiracy. Anyone seen it? Oh, no one's seen it. Okay. Have you seen Cowspiracy, the other documentary? You've seen Cowspiracy? Yeah. So I would suggest, if you want an understanding of what's actually going on the planet, if you watch Seaspiracy and Cowspiracy, you'll see the main reason the Earth is getting wrecked with climate change and all these things is because we're eating all the fish and all the animals. That's actually why. If we keep going at the current rate, I mean, we don't eat fish, so there's no problem. We don't eat meat, fish, eggs, none of these things. But if the world keeps going at the current rate, eating the same amount of fish that they're eating now, there'll be no fish in the ocean by 2048, which is only 30 years away. And if you take all the fish out of the ocean, the ocean is the main regulator of carbon emissions. It keeps the Earth balanced. So if you think the temperatures are rising now, just wait till there's no fish in the ocean. You throw the whole system out of... And this is what's happening. So we could say if people don't change very, very quickly, they're talking about, by 2050, zero carbon. No, it's not. This is not the main problem. I mean, stopping the plastic bags and all those things, these are good. But this is not the main problem. The main problem is eating animals. That's what's going on. Yeah.
I can tell you the real story. There's a place called Bharatpur near Mathura, and they have got a bird sanctuary. And in 80s, actually, they had around the bird sanctuary, they had this marshy land and the cows over there, and cow used to graze. And then we got some people from this World Environment Organization. They say, oh, you know what, because of these cows, they eat all the grass, and that's why we don't have enough migratory birds. So the government decided to remove the cows from there, and Pat counts that within 5 years the migratory birds reduced coming even further by something around 40%. So there was another guy who conducted a study over there, and in that particular study what they really found was that because when the cows were eating, they were having cow dungs. Cow dungs had these small worms and those things. They used to be eaten by...
That's why the birds come.
Birds used to come.
So
and
the problem we have in the...
It's the other way around.
The problem we have in the world now is everyone listens to the scientists. And to be honest, they don't really know what they're talking about. Right? They say on the radio all the time, science says, science says. Just leave everything as it was. You don't need to do a study. You know, let's study, you know, how the world... Just leave everything as it was. For thousands of years, everything operated perfectly. Right? Now they do studies. Oh, we're going to study the cow dung, the effect it has on fertilizing the earth. It just works. You don't need to study all these things. It just works. Yeah, science is actually destroying the world. Even though they think they're helping and benefiting all of us, but it's actually destroying things. So the point is that what we're doing now is we're wrecking the earth, and the earth is the mother. The American Indians, or the Native American Indians, they have a teaching. They say that never make any decision which will negatively affect 7 generations of your people. Now, if you look at many of the decisions the government is making these days, and the scientists and so forth, it's destroying the earth in 1 generation. But we're meant to be looking after the earth. So here at Hare Krishna Valley, at least, we're teaching people how to look after the earth, right? To respect the earth. This is one of our mothers. So the earth is being respected, the cow is being respected, and your biological mother. Then you have the wife of the guru, the wife of the holy man, and the wife of the king. Right? Is also your mother, right? Because they will teach you. Well, who is the wife of the king? Who is the king in Australia? What's his name? Scott Morrison? You wouldn't call him the king? No? But that, effectively, that's what he is. Now we just call it prime minister or president. But it's effectively, it's the same thing, effectively. But it doesn't work as well. The reason we don't like kings is because we think they exploit things. But actually, the king is noble. It's actually the best system. You see, like, when, what were their names? The ones that broke off from the royal family recently, Meghan and... Harry and Meghan. So they got married a few years back, 3 years ago or something. I think the figure was 1.6 billion people watched the wedding. So if we're not if we don't like kings and queens and all these things, why do we're fascinated by it actually? Why? Because it's the best system. It's the natural system. The problem is you haven't got the right people in the position. If you have noble people in the position, we could fix the earth up very quickly. If you had the right people who were listening to the holy people, who had gurus. Hands up if you have a guru. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. A few people. Back in the ancient days, everyone had gurus. What do we have now? Football teams. Who do you barrack for? What does that amount to? The point is, back in the ancient time, people had gurus. Right? If you have people who can direct you and teach you, and the king also had a guru, he could rule the earth properly, protect the earth. Now we have the wrong people, and what are they doing? They're exploiting the earth. Right? Just like the Australian government, they make a lot of very silly decisions. It's going to impact us as time goes by. So, the wife of the king, the wife of the guru, the wife of the holy man, and then the seventh mother is the Datri. Datri means wet nurse. In the ancient tradition, quite often there was like in the royal families, they had nurses. When the mother could not breastfeed the child, then the wet nurse would do it. It was traditional. It was there even up until 50 years ago. In many places in the world they had these things. So she's also considered the mother. She's to be respected. So in our tradition, we respect the 7 mothers. So that is our Mother's Day tradition and celebration. So does anyone have any questions or comments on what we have discussed so far, or about anything you'd like to know about the meaning of life, the universe, and everything? So, yes.
Is your belief in karma like a dynamic energy system, or is it more along the lines of Buddhism, and what you put out is then what you're creating?
Was that karma?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very similar to Buddhism. Yeah. Because the word karma, literally it means action, activity. It means doing something. So that's karma. Karma means work or activity or doing something. So as you sow, so shall you reap, or whatever you do, then that will come back to you. So if anything negative happens in your life, this is taught in the ancient teachings of India. When something happens to us in our life, who do we blame?
Someone else.
The universe.
Yeah, the universe. The universe often gets blamed. Right? Good thing about the universe is that it's very non-descriptive. Like you just go, stand out there in the paddock and you say, "Hey, universe, why are you wrecking my life?" What's the universe anyway? Who are you actually addressing here?
God.
Yeah, but people have this other idea. It's just this big energy or something like that. We think it like that. We think differently. But so anyway, people blame the universe, or they blame, like you said, someone else. Everyone likes to blame someone else when something happened to me. Oh yeah, this person did it to me. That person did it to me. The Bhagavad-Gita, the ancient teachings of India, they teach only one person is responsible for any of the happiness or distress that we experience in life. It is ourselves. That's enlightened, right? Because whatever we did in our previous life, that comes back to us in this life. Right? So that is called karma. Karma means as you sow, so shall you reap. That's not easy to accept, but it's true. That's reality. So karma means that if you do good things for people, good things will happen to you. If you do bad things to people, bad things will happen to you. If we do as a society, we do bad things, it comes back to it. Look at 2020, last year. Everyone says, oh, it was a terrible year and so for the planet, and this year's, I think, going to be worse. Right? So many negative things are happening. Do you think it's going to get better in 2022? Not unless people dramatically change. Everyone thinks, oh, we're just having a couple of bad years. No, we have to change the way we live. So karma means whatever you're doing, then it will come back. Now, in the Hare Krishna movement, we have another teaching which is called akarma. Akarma literally means no karma. So how can you stop your karma? Right? How can you stop it? Akarma means no karma, it disappears. How can you stop it? Right? Interesting. You stop it when you offer your work, because karma means your work or your activity, when you offer it to Krishna or to God. Right? Krishna is the blue boy. You've seen all the pictures, that bluish person. That's how we see God in our tradition. He's a blue cowherd boy. He's young, he's carefree, and he's very cool. Right? That's how we see God. He's not an old man who sits there all day.
He's not a white-collar person?
No, he doesn't have a white collar. No.
Is that the reason he's blue?
Is that the reason he's blue? The reason he's blue is because he's happy. Like, look at that colour. How does that make you feel? Yeah, that's why he's blue, because he's happy. It's a colour of bliss.
Yeah, but in the Western.
I know. Yeah, blue collar, white collar. Krishna is above. Krishna doesn't have a collar. You don't have to worry about these things. So Krishna is very cool. He's not an old man. He doesn't sit around all day just working out how good you've been or how bad you've been. Right? But he is blissful. Right? So, if you do your work for him, then he says, I will take away your karma. Because your activity is spiritual. It's devotional. Just like right now my wife is offering food. So karma means action. Everyone has to eat. Hands up if you have to eat. Hands up if you like to eat. Hands up if you eat many times a day. Hands up if your whole life is eating.
Yes.
Hands up if pretty close your whole life is eating. Yeah, anyone from India, even the Western people will say. India, everyone says, gulab jamun, India, it's all it is, food, right? Traditionally, I mean, now we have machines and packets and supermarkets, but traditionally in India, you get up in the morning, what does everyone start doing? Grinding the grains. Now, you see your grandmother down there in South India, you know, with the Medi, grinding the grains, the dal, everything, getting it ready to make the uttapan, or to make the idli, or the dosa, or the paratha, or the chapati. What do you have for breakfast? I don't know what you have for breakfast. You guys eat too much anyways. This is your system. But this is basically what they do, right? You get up in the morning, start getting breakfast ready, right? Have breakfast, right? Then everyone sits around for a while, right? And then what do? Start making lunch, right? So everyone gets back and start grinding. And once that's done, everyone sits around for a bit, take bath, have lunch, say your Gayatri, do some prayers, do some puja, then okay, dinner. That's basically what everyone did for thousands of years, right? Now we think we're more progressed because you just go to the supermarket, grab something, put it in the microwave. Oh, now we've got time to watch Netflix. Right? Oh, so advanced, so advanced. Eating terrible food which gives you cancer, right? And then that's progression in life. No. So in the ancient tradition, it was very different. Right? In the ancient, so like my wife, she's offering the food to Krishna. We all have to eat, but when you eat the food, even vegetarian food, well, we're vegetarian, okay. But even if you eat the vegetarian food, you still took the life of the carrot. So there's some karma. Right? There's much more karma when you kill the animal. We know that. When you kill the animal, there's a lot of karma because it's very violent. The animal has a nervous system. He feels pain. The carrot does not have a nervous system. So there's not pain. You know, little something is there, but no. So Krishna says you can eat the vegetables. So that is good, but still there's some karma. So how do you get rid of the karma altogether? You offer the food to Krishna. To God first, before we eat. You see, whenever we eat, we first offer the food to Krishna. That's what we're doing now. We cooked nice lunch today, right? But first we offer it to Krishna. We don't give it to you first. Krishna first, God first. He blesses it, it becomes spiritualized, and we call it prasadam. And that's when people say Hare Krishna food tastes different. Does anyone agree with that statement? Hands up. Okay, 2 people. You can all have free lunch today. Oh, now you all get enthusiastic. Oh, yeah, now, yeah. It does. No, the Hare Krishna, I've been eating it for many years. It tastes different. If the food's not offered to Krishna, it doesn't have the same, what's the word? Wholesomeness. It doesn't have that same feeling because it's selfish. You're just cooking for you. Oh, what I like. Who cares what you like? Offer it to Krishna. What does he like? Right? So we cook nice lunch today, we offer it to Krishna. He always leaves you something. Right? It's not like he just eats it and it's not there. No, because he is a spiritual being. He spiritually accepts it, but then he leaves it there and you can still, but now it's blessed. And now there's no karma. That's called akarma. So Krishna says, offer your food to me. Do all of your activities for me. And then your karma is destroyed. And what happens when you destroy your karma? You become light. You see, the Hare Krishna people who have been practicing for many years, they've got a lightness about them. Right? Like a glow about them. Right? Sometimes people say that to us. Like me and my wife, we went to that lighthouse down in Cape Otway. So we went to the Cape Otway lighthouse. They're going to close it soon. So if you want to go soon. Is it closed yet? Or? But they're going to close it for some reason. It's not going to be open to the public anymore. So we went down there. So we walked up the stairs, up the top, and there was a lady, she sits up there all day. Not all day, but 4-hour shifts or something like that. So we got the top, and as we came up, we walked in, and then we spoke to her a little bit, and then we said, oh, we're from the Hare Krishna Valley, just down 1 hour from here, and like that. And she said, I knew there was something different about you. She said, you were bright. She said, most people when they walk up the stairs, they don't look like that. I don't know. Yeah, maybe she's just saying because she wanted free food or something. I don't know. But she said, I'm just repeating what she said. Right? But she said that to us. And because I don't notice it, because I just look in the mirror every day, it's the same guy. But she said, you look bright. Right? So there's something in this. Right? When you're destroying your karma, you become light and then effulgent. Prabhupada, he would say that. Bright-faced brahmacharis. Those who follow nicely, they become bright. They become effulgent. They look different. That's because your soul is awakening. So this is how we practice akarma. So karma is there. But if you follow these teachings, your karma will disappear and you'll become very happy and blissful. Like a Hare Krishna person, dancing and chanting like crazy all over Deakin University. Everyone will say, what is wrong with you? You're just dancing and chanting everywhere. You look too happy. People actually say that to us sometimes. You look too happy. What's wrong with you? I don't know what's wrong. We're just, Hare Baba, I'm happy. Happy for Krishna. One time, this is many years ago, maybe nearly 30 years ago, we were chanting in Burke Street on Friday night in front of the Greater Union Cinema. I don't know if it's still there or not, if they still have the movies. But we used to chant there, we used to stop there, and many people come in and out, and we're chanting. And Prabhu, one of our devotees, he was leading. So everyone was very, what we call, ecstatic, very blissful. So we're all dancing. I was only like 21 or 22 or something. But I'm dancing, like I was about that far off the ground. You're dancing, like jumping in the air, like Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And we used to stop there every week and chant. And there was a security guard from the cinema. He would come out every week and he would stand near us and watch us, and he liked it. So I was on the end, and there's about 20 of us, and we're all dancing and chanting very blissfully. And then he came up to me on the end, and he leant over and he said, I don't know what you guys are on, but I want 2 kilograms. Whatever you guys are taking, I want it. So I looked at him and I said, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So if you chant Hare Krishna, you will be happy. Prabhupada, our guru, he said, chant and be happy. If it doesn't work, we'll give your money back. No problem. We don't care. We don't need the money. Well, we do, because we've got to run this place. But if you're really not happy, we'll give you the money back. We don't care. If you came here today and you didn't get something out of this, and if you don't feel lighter and spiritually enlightened, you can take your money back, no problem. But most people, when they come here, they say, no, this place is different. The vibration is different here. It is spiritual. There's something special in this place. Why? Because the cows are protected. The mother is protected. That's the reason. So get rid of your karma. Right? No more karma key? No. Okay. Any other questions?
So in the context of official work, what we do,
yeah.
How do we offer that to God? I mean, because what we do that has got reaction from the boss or whosoever, it could be bad, it could be good. So how that gel with what God?
What we're talking about. Yeah. Some jobs you cannot do. Some jobs you cannot do. You can't offer. Some jobs you cannot offer to Krishna, like being a butcher. If you're a butcher, you cannot. A devotee of Krishna cannot be a butcher. Also, it is what we call incompatible. Right? It does not work. But most jobs you can. Most jobs. Right? If you're doing a job which has some bad karma, change job. I've seen many devotees over the years, they've done jobs with bad karma, they change the job. Krishna will help you. That's okay, don't worry about that. It will help. Now, you have to do the job because you have to feed your family, you have to feed yourself, you have to put petrol in the Mercedes Benz, right? You have to do these things. Right? So, Krishna says you have to give a portion to him. Now, actually in the ancient teachings it says 50%. But when we tell most people that, they have a heart attack. You have to give 50%, and also in this day and age it's difficult to do that. It's very difficult. It costs a lot of money to maintain in this day and age. But you have to give something. Now the question is, how much do you give? When it starts hurting you, that's when you know you're giving the right amount. Because if you make $1,000 a week, and you give $10 to Krishna a week, you won't notice it. But if you give 100 a week, you'll start to feel something. If you get 200 a week, you'll probably start feeling uncomfortable. Right? You give 500, your wife probably leaves you. Right? So give enough that you feel it. And then that way when you're at work, you'll be thinking of Krishna. Oh yeah, I'm giving a portion of this to Krishna. Is it okay?
Very good.
And then offer your food and all these things. Do your
Something
chanting.
is better than nothing.
Yeah,
Do something.
yeah. At least give something.
Yeah.
But it should be, actually, I see people, they become purified and enlightened when they start giving something where they actually feel it. Like, if you come to my house, it's like my birthday, and I have a cake, and I give you a little portion. Oh, here, have that. He said, no, I want more. I said, okay. And then I move it. He said, no, I want more. And I said, who is this guy? And then I give you more. And then you eat 3/4 of the cake. And when you leave, I'm thinking about, who's this guy? You just ate 3/4 of my birthday cake. So that means you'll start thinking of Krishna in the same way. If Krishna's taking a lot from you, then you'll start thinking, who's this guy? But we have to do it with love. That's it. Is it okay? Yeah. Any other question? Come on. We have a little bit more time, so if anyone has something. You can ask anything. Something about our lifestyle, our philosophy, about the meaning of life, anything. We can try to answer.
When we offer the food to Krishna, so what would be the pattern, practice, the way we, whatever we make fresh, we offer, or whatever. Sometimes, for example, we make dough and we use next time. So can we offer that thing or not, or only we? What pattern one should?
Should it be fresh basically, or
what would be the ideal and what would be acceptable?
The ideal is fresh.
Yeah.
That is the ideal. Just like in the Hare Krishna restaurants, like in Melbourne we have Crossways, we have Radha's Chai Bar, we have Gopal's, different restaurants. So Prabhupada, our founder, he said you can cook in the morning and then during the day you have to cook more because more people come. But he said if you offer it in the morning, whatever you cook next can be considered for Krishna. It already offered, already prasaded. So, say if you make, it actually depends on the mentality of the consciousness. So if you make chapati, you make the dough, you make for Krishna, and then if you think that portion that I used was offered to Krishna, then that is the prasad. And if you think the other is not ideal, but like you said, acceptable, tomorrow I'll use that other portion, then you can offer that. But if you think in the mind, no, I'm offering that to Krishna and all of that, then that it all becomes prasad. Understand? So it depends on what you are thinking in the mind, what you're offering to Krishna. But fresh is best. That's the ideal, as we said. But then there's acceptable.
And all means 3 times, 4 times, 5 times means as there is anything, or one can be, because if some people are working and they are not in a position to offer 2-3 times, so what would be?
A day. Sure. Like if you're cooking, so then if you cook in the morning, then you take your tiffin with you or something, and then that is prasad. You have to be practical.
Yeah.
Be practical. Life is different to the way it used to be.
Yeah.
We lived in a village 500 years ago. We lived in a village and we cooked, and then someone was already cooking, always cooking. These days, like we're busy, we don't live in the village, we just live at home, a couple of us, and time is difficult and like that. So you have to be practical.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And also, Prabhuji, with the prasadam, so when we offer to Krishna, we put tulsi leaf, what else we should be saying? Like, I mean, do we have to do any mantra chanting specifically with offering, or?
Yeah. If you're just, the basic point is you have a picture of Krishna. Right? So just like we have a picture there, right? So you have the picture. And then you get a plate. The plate is only for Krishna. Just like the plate that we just used, we never use it, no one else ever uses it. It has to be just for Krishna. And you have to watch that, it has to be very clean, everything has to be good. So you get the offering, you put it in front of Krishna. We have a special table and mat, but in your home you can just put it on the shelf or something in front of the picture. And then you offer it to Krishna. If you don't know the other mantras, you just chant the Hare Krishna mantra.
Yes.
And if you have devotion in your heart, it will become accepted by Krishna. But then if you want to become a little more devoted or serious, then we can teach you the extra mantras. There are certain mantras that we chant during the offering. So those things we can teach. That's easy. Okay?
What about the offering plate is there, of course, so we keep it clean, but what about the pot?
Yeah, keep the pot clean as well.
Yeah, the eating plate and then cooking pot, everything there was in the one sink, is that contaminated or the clean?
Depends where you live and what your circumstance is.
Yeah.
Like if you live in a flat and you only have one sink, then at least have different cloth. Like at our home, we have different cloth. One we use for washing Krishna's things, which is nice, and then we don't use the cloth we use for what we eat off to wash Krishna's things. So keep things separate. But better is you have separate place in the house. Like this is just Krishna's sink. That's best. But sometimes in the modern world it's a little bit difficult. Be practical. Yes, madam.
What happens to the food after it's been offered? Does it get eaten or does it get tossed?
No, we eat it. You're going to eat it very soon.
No, but I mean the plate that you offered.
Oh, what was actually on the plate. That's what we call Mahaprasad, or very special. If you get what was actually on Krishna's plate, that's considered very, very special. So there'll be a bit of a fight after we go. I want that. That's the special stuff. It's all special, but that's the extra. Any other questions?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
The last 15 years,
Yeah.
attending Bhaktivedanta programs or coming to the temple.
Which place?
And there are many people who started when I also started coming to Bhaktivedanta, but I have seen those people has progressed a lot in the spiritual activity, but I'm not. What could the reason? What is stopping me and they could get on with it, I couldn't. I'm still sort of entangled with the things. Not that I'm very greedy, but I'm still into the worldly things as such. But they have progressed a lot and they are still working like me, I'm working also, but they are more sort of aligned with the philosophy, I should say. But how to get onto that one?
It's an individual journey and it's an individual realization. At some point, something will happen in your life which will make you realize there's nothing in this world worth being attached to, because everything's going to be taken away from you in due course. So when that happens, then you just give everything to Krishna in your heart. You don't hold things back anymore. If you're holding things back, it just means that realization has not come yet. But you don't have to worry, Krishna will bring it soon. He brings it to everyone.
Yeah, I wish that, but it's not coming.
Yeah, it will be different for everyone. Timing is different for everyone. There's no right or wrong time.
Well, you have to maybe push yourself also a little bit, I want to do. So you want to come to the farm today, you can, right? So that kind of mind you have to make it yourself to, I want to serve the Lord. I want to offer. I want to progress in further up. Isn't it, Kesava?
Yeah, that's
in
good.
theory I do think.
Yeah.
See, when you think at intellectual level, you think, yes, that's the way you do the smarpan or that.
It's a realization. Yeah, there's jnana, there is vijnana. Jnana means knowledge. We all have knowledge.
Yeah.
Vijnana means when you realize it. So when that happens, there will be some life event which will take place, and that will change you. And at that time, then you will give everything. But when that happens, it's different for everyone. Sometimes it happens when you're young, sometimes it happens when you're old, but it will happen. Krishna will bring you to him. So stay tuned.
Soon is better.
Soon is better, yeah.
Yeah.
But it will happen. Stay tuned.
Never wait longer, So you never have padam jat padam. You never know what time you're gonna live.
Yeah, you have that realization, but yeah, it takes. Someone will get it. Everyone will get different time. Yes, sir.
Prabhu, we're seeing India ravaged by COVID. As a country, is it got karma as a country, or how should one see the situation in India?
Yeah, I spoke about that before. Yeah, so you can watch the recording like that. That will come out on YouTube very soon. I'll tell you. It means that India is the home of Dharma. So we explain that when you know something, like your kids, I explained this before, you tell your kid something, hey, don't do like that, it's wrong, right? But he keeps doing it, then you become more angry, more heavy. Right? You have to tell the child, hey, you're doing the wrong thing, stop behaving like that. So when you're in the land of spirituality and enlightenment and they don't follow, then it has to come. And also from another point of view, Indian people, they're just very spontaneous. So everyone's just like, like that. And that's the way they've kind of dealt with this situation. And this situation should not have been dealt with like that. Yeah, everyone was just like, drink some turmeric tea and like that. But it's this, as we're seeing, it's more serious than that. So yeah, but in many places in the world, it's happening now. So it's basically the karma is catching up. That's the point.
You can see too the link with cow slaughter as well. Countries like Brazil, the United States of America, and India, which are the biggest exporters. Australia also is, but Australia at this point is getting karma in other ways through bushfires and flooding and cyclones. Like Australia is always going through some kind of natural disaster. Not here this summer, but next summer, who knows? So, but there's definitely a correlation between, not looking after the animals appropriately as well.
Yeah. Very good. Yep.
And Prabhuji, I actually struggle to do more than 2 malas a day.
Yep.
Struggle means that I want to, but then I get bored, maybe, or I just feel like that's all I can do.
Are you associating with other devotees?
Well, I do, but not every day, occasionally.
But yeah, it has to become like a regular thing. Because it says in the ancient teachings, if you're doing the chanting, she's talking about the chanting, the mantra that we do, like before we chant it all together, but we also do, some of us do 2 hours a day of meditation chanting on mala, like on meditation beads. So it's got japa, like that. So that's what she's speaking of. So it says in the ancient teachings, if you're struggling, as you say, you get bored, then you need to be with people or devotees who are not bored when they do it. When they do it, they really taste it or they enjoy it, or they feel connected to Krishna. And when you're with them and you're doing it, that begins to rub off on you. In other words, you are a product of your sangha or association. Whoever you associate with, that's what you become like. Right? So if you associate with the spiritual people, you'll also become spiritual and enlightened. So you need to chant with people who are more progressed like that.
So for example, going to temple and then chanting.
Why not? Well, where do you live?
Melbourne.
Maribyrnong.
Yeah.
So it's not far from Albert Park.
Just the challenge is crossing the city.
Yeah, then go. The chanting in the temple begins at 4:30 in the morning.
Not much traffic.
Yeah, so that's a good thing. Why do we start at 4:30 in the morning? because everyone else is asleep. So you get to the temple in 20 minutes, normally takes 1 hour when there's traffic.
Yeah.
So just drive across the bridge, get there at 4:30 in the morning, then you'll do some chanting, then you'll see. You'll become blissful. And then you'll dance and chant all the way back to Maribyrnong.
And that's true. I felt that.
Yeah.
So every time we go to temple or
Yeah.
do some kirtan,
You'll become blissful.
that's right.
And then you'll become known as the crazy Maribyrnong chanting lady. Everyone sees in the morning, coming back, 8:30 in the morning, chanting across the bridge,
That's a good crazy.
off the
that
river.
will be blessing.
That will be, yeah.
Yes.
So you do that, you become famous. Then the Channel 7 helicopter will follow you. The lady's been chanting around Melbourne for 3 days now.
Well, that's what I do sometimes in the car when I drive. Picking up kids or dropping, I just chant while I'm driving.
Yeah, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Kirtaniyaha sadahari, means always chant. Don't stop chanting. The problem is we stop all the time. That's the problem. So when you stop, that's when your problems come. When you don't stop, what is the problem? Like Haridas Thakur, you know Haridas Thakur? He was a great saint 500 years ago. He was known for his chanting. He would just chant nearly all day. So one time they put him in jail. And he just kept chanting all the time. And then the other people in the jail, he got them all chanting as well. So everyone was chanting Hare Krishna. And then one day he said to them, they said, bless us. You know, sometimes you go to the saint and pray, give us blessing. He said, I bless you, all stay in jail. They all looked at him. They said, why are you blessed? He said, because as soon as you go out, you'll stop chanting.
Yes.
In here, you've got nothing else to do. Start chanting. And then he said, I'm not actually blessing, that will happen, but I'm trying to make a point to you.
That's right, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just have to become a little bit more serious, that's all. Nothing can stop you. Right? If this is what you want, then you get up at 4 in the morning, drive across the bridge, and then you can do the walk back later on with the helicopter.
Another thing is, whenever you can come to the temple. I mean, associate with the devotees.
Yeah.
Sit down there and chant. It's whenever convenient for you.
Yes.
That's another option.
I should try.
No, you should do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Trying is useless.
That's
The world is full of people trying. Do it. You know Yoda?
Yoda?
Yoda, you know Yoda?
Yoda, yes, yes.
Yoda, you know who I'm talking about?
Yes, yes.
Yoda. You know Star Wars?
Warriors.
Huh?
Warriors.
Yeah.
Warriors.
Guru of the
Guru of
Skywalker.
Jedi.
Jedis.
You know Star Wars?
No.
You don't know you don't know what I'm talking about. Okay.
I thought you were talking about Yodas, who actually warriors in the battlefield.
The different thing.
Yes.
Different. There's another guy.
Okay.
Okay. He's a green guy.
He's a warrior.
He's a warrior. He's about this big.
Yeah.
But anyway, don't worry about who he is. Famous line from Yoda. He said, "Do or do not." There is no in between. Do or do not. This is what he told Luke Skywalker.
I get your point.
You get my point?
Yes.
Okay, so don't worry about the story, just get the point. So there's only two options in life. Do or do not. That's all. Because the story was his spaceship, it was an X-Wing. Right? You know X-Wing? Okay, don't worry. So anyway.
I think you watch too much kids movie now.
Hey. You just do your chanting. I learned all this when I was a kid. This is what I remember when I was a kid. I used to watch this movie when I was a kid, but this is the teaching I never forgot. So his spaceship was stuck in the swamp. And then he had to use his mind to lift it out. They have powers, they're called Jedi. Like Yogi. It was all the same. Lift it out. He said, I cannot. And then he looked at him. He said, no, do or do not. That's all. In your mind says do, you do it. So then he concentrated and the spaceship come out. That's all. You can say, your mind will give you 1,000 excuses why you should not chant, why you should not offer your food to Krishna, why you should not come to Hare Krishna Valley, why you should not give up. Your mind will give you 1,000 excuses not to improve your life, not to become enlightened. But when your mind says, no, I will do it, then nothing will stop you. That's all. When I started this, like my own story, I was 19. So when I came home, I said to my family, my friends, I'm becoming Hare Krishna monk, brahmachari. People said, you cannot do this, you should not do this. No, do or do not. I said, I'm doing it, that's it. Right now, do it. No stopping. Nothing can stop you, only in here. This is the end. Understand? Okay, take care. I'll look forward to seeing you on the news. Any other question?
Sorry, so you just mentioned you started when you were 19.
Just give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Okay. It's the evolution. You know the sound magazine? They're on the table, just bring the poem. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, so you just mentioned you started when you were 19.
Yeah.
I mean, what pushed you towards...
To doing this?
Yeah.
One of my brothers died when I was 15. Yeah. So when he passed away, something awoke inside of me. So I think, I don't know, but I think in my previous life, I was practicing this. Because when he died, it was like something came up again. And I thought, oh, this life is temporary. You cannot rely on anything in this life. Everything like that can be taken. So then I became more serious. And then by the time I was 19, I'd been through everything. You know, my girlfriend left me, all the same old story. Same Bollywood story, same Hollywood story. It's all the same. Other girl left, well, that's the whole thing. By the time I was 19, I felt like I'd done everything. So I thought the only answer, which will give me peace in my heart, is I have to start practicing a spiritual practice. And then I read these books. I read the Bhagavad-Gita. I read these books. And then when I read it, I thought, yes, this is what I am looking for. This is what... it was like, when I read this, it felt like what was inside me, but I could not articulate or say, it was there. And when I read it, I thought, oh, I know all this. So then I thought, I will practice this. And then I started practicing when I was 19. And when I first began, to be honest, I thought to myself, I will do this for a couple of years. But then, like 32 years later, I'm still doing it. Because the food is very good. It's not just that, but it means once I started doing it, I realized actually this was a good way to live. Yeah. Otherwise, you know, the world's gone crazy. I don't want to live like that. Like what? Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Yeah.
You said about Bhagavad-Gita. I've tried reading Bhagavad-Gita 2 times. I've also listened to it on YouTube. I find it very hard to understand and get the essence of what it is.
Yeah.
So, is there any suggestion on how Bhagavad-Gita...
You need a teacher.
You need a teacher.
Yeah, of course. Krishna says, Evam parampara praptam imam raja shiyo vidu. This is understood through teachers. Guru, disciple, guru, disciple. You look on our altar, you see our gurus. If you go back the last 150, 200 years, you see the gurus. They taught the next one, they taught the next one, they taught the next one. This is the system. So now, like you said on YouTube, there's so many gurus there. You can look, they will explain the Bhagavad-Gita. And if you have problems, just send me a text.
So do you run any retreats where you talk about Bhagavad-Gita?
Yeah. We incorporate it as part of what we do. Where do you live?
Werribee.
Werribee, okay. You're probably around Werribee. There will be groups that meet regularly.
Yeah.
If you contact our temple in Melbourne, there are and then you can go with them in Werribee, that area. There's many groups, and you can meet with them like weekly or something, and they can help you to understand things.
Okay.
Yeah, because none of us can understand it by ourselves. Because as soon as you read, you have a question. So then your guru or your teacher will give you the answers. So, okay. Okay, I think we'll finish there. Is that okay? Anyone else have any questions that you need to? Yeah, one more. Okay.
Sure. Not really relevant, but is there any plans for there to be any Like Gopal's is one of my favorite places to eat in the city, but there's nothing like that. Like there's not a Hare Krishna place in Geelong.
Yeah.
There's no, but it would be nice.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if there's some like.
On the radar.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about it, but it's just manpower. That's all. If we had more manpower, I mean, we could run a restaurant. The group that we've got here, because you'll see at lunchtime they're very good cooks, but then we couldn't do stuff here. So we just need more manpower. If we had another team, they could run it. And then, yeah, so we have thought about it, but we need more of us. Well, that's it. If you want to join, just come and see me after the... and we'll teach you how to cook. Like that. Okay, so I've got a free magazine here, so if anyone wants if you want to learn more about us, then just come and get the magazine, it'll just be here. If you gave a donation online, thank you very much. If you came today and you haven't given your donation, if you'd like to give something in the donation box, we would appreciate that to keep this place running. We like to hold these open days, so as many people as we can invite, they can come in, they can learn about us, and we can share what we have. So we're going to have a nice lunch today, compliments of our chefs. They've cooked lasagna, like that, so it's very, very tasty. So if you just go out, turn right, you can go down. We'll serve everyone there. If you want to eat outside, you can eat outside. If you're a little cold, you can go into the dining room, which is at the end here, and you can sit in there. The heater's on in there also. So thank you all for coming. And then after we have lunch, then we'll go and see the cows. So just meet us in about an hour. We'll just go from here, and then we'll go and see our cows. You can feed them, and you can serve them also. Thank you very much. Please come again.